Happy Monday, ladies, and welcome to our first ever in UC's history Remote Spirit Week. I know that's a little different, but there are some special things in store for you guys. And not only are you all going to dress up fun, but we're supposed to use this opportunity to pray for the people. So today is Meet My Hero Monday in honor of all of the first responders, nurses, and doctors, and people working in grocery stores, and people keeping the supply chain going. So all the people that are helping out during this crazy pandemic we're facing. So in honor of them, we're going to go ahead and start and do a quick little prayer, and then we'll get started. Dear Jesus, I come before you. I thank you for this day. I thank you that you love us, Lord. I pray for all the people that are serving us and just their different ways. I pray for the healthcare workers, that you would be with them. Just give them wisdom. Keep them safe, Lord. I pray for the first responders, that you would be with them as well. I ask that you would be with the people in the grocery stores and the people keeping the supply chains going, Lord. Just help them as they're going about their business too. I pray for these girls. You know the things that are touching their lives, so I ask that you be involved in those situations too. We love you, Lord. It's in your name we pray. Amen. If you noticed on announcements, you'll also know that if you give me 3 pictures of you dressed up this week and email me them on Friday, I will give you a free homework pass. So if you want that, get those in. Just take pictures of you dressed up. I am actually, here's a little secret. I record all of the videos like over the weekend, and I'm actually dressed up like Thursday right now. I didn't change, but that's okay. I will have this on when I talk about Thursday with you guys. You can also join me in a Zoom meeting this week if you want, either on Wednesday between 9 and 9:30 or Thursday between 9:30 and 10. That's not required, but if you want to stop in, say hi, ask me any questions, tell me prayer requests, just tell me about your life. I would love to see you guys, and we can see what other students are on there. It'll be fun to see. You don't have to stay. It's not optional, but if you want to come, that'll be available. Don't forget to watch Mr. Niven's You Challenge video, and then he talks about doing a anti-bullying video that y'all saw before you left for spring break, and there are some incentives if you do that, so I challenge y'all to do that. So today you're going to watch this video, watch Mr. Niven's You Challenge video, and dress up for Meet My Hero Monday. That's all I have for this class. Y'all worked hard at the end of last week, so just giving you an easy day today. So what are our objectives today? We're going to discuss the 5 safety guidelines for recreational safety, basic things that you can apply to anything. We're going to discuss sports safety, water safety, and look at wilderness safety. So 5 basic safety guidelines. With anything you're doing in the recreational world, whether that's something like skateboarding or snowboarding or going out on the water or playing sports, these are the things you want to do to help keep yourself safe. So number 1, learn the necessary skills. 2, know your limitations and stay within your abilities. 3, know the safety rules. 4, prepare adequately. And 5, use appropriate protective gear and well-maintained equipment. So I'm going to give you all a quick example of this. I went snowboarding for the first time when I was about 18. I live in Florida, so, no snow for us. And the only experience I ever had was this MTV show that I used to watch called Made. I don't know if they do that anymore. It's where people dream these big dreams and they want to do things. And I watched one where a girl wanted to be a snowboarder. So I remember watching the video, and this girl was like, made it look like it was the hardest thing in the world. She couldn't stand up, and every time she tried to stand up, she fell down over and over again. So I was like, this is going to be hard, but I can do it. So I remember I got out there on the slopes, and I knew the rules for safety, kind of. I was wearing my appropriate protective gear, and I went to stand up thinking it would be hard, and I got up right away, and I was like, man, I got this. So we went out, and I was going, and I have good balance from cheerleading, so I just started going. And all of a sudden, I was like, yes, this is awesome. This is easy. Until I realized that I didn't know how to stop. And we were kind of at the bottom near where a bunch of kids were, and this little kid ran out in front of me. So I had 2 options. 1, mow over the 4-year-old, which, that's never a good option. Or B, face plant. I said 1, it should have been 2. Anyways, I went with option 2, and I face planted and realized I probably should have learned the skills stopping before I went and decided to go. I was not seriously injured. The child was okay. But it would have been helpful to know how to do that. And so those are just basic things you can do with anything. So sports safety. Number 1, you want to take time to warm up and cool down. Our body, we need to warm up, and we need to make sure that we are nice and flexible. The more you stretch, no matter what the sport is, the better it is. So That's why in all of your sports, your coaches have you stretch. Flexibility is great and really important in things like ballet and gymnastics and cheerleading, and everyone knows that, but it's also important in your other sports because if you're not stretched, your muscles will be tight and you're more likely to injure them. You also want to cool down. You don't want to just stop abruptly. That is also bad for your muscles. Stop if you feel pain, unless I tell you different. Now, what in the world does that mean? You want to stop if you are feeling pain unless it is a good pain and it's a coach talking to you. Sometimes there is such a thing as a good pain, and if you are under a supervision of an adult that knows what they're talking about, so like when you're stretching, sometimes you're going to feel pain, and that's a good thing because your body is responding in the way it should be. So don't do it on your own, but if you haven't been instructed properly, you can continue with that pain. Avoid overheating. You want to drink sufficient water. You also want to hydrate before. I know I've seen a couple of the guys walk around with jugs of water, like big old gallons, and that is actually important. Sometimes you can actually overhydrate. Be careful with that. You want to wear lightweight, loose-fitting clothes. And make sure you're always sweating, because if you are not sweating, that is a sign that you could be either having heat exhaustion or heat stroke. Also, if you feel cold when you should feel hot, that is a very dangerous sign, and those are things that can actually lead to death, so you want to be careful with that. All right, we are flying through this, and we're moving on to water safety. We live in Florida. We live near the beach and pools and lakes, so water safety is really important. So, number one, you want to know how to swim before you get into a deep body of water, or even if you're going out to the beach, because you can get caught in things. So knowing how to swim is really important. I put my kids in swim lessons when they're little. Sadie and Kinsley both went through them. Aubrey and Brinley haven't made them yet. Use the buddy system when you're participating in water sports. You never want to swim alone, even if you're a great swimmer, because you never know if something could happen. Even as an adult, I will not swim alone because of possible thing. What if I were to have a seizure or a stroke? Those aren't things that should happen, but if they were to happen and I was in the water, I could drown. Always go feet first into unfamiliar water. You never want to jump and dive into water when you can't see the bottom, because if you go feet first into water and it's shallower than you think, you have a possibility of breaking your ankles, which is dangerous. But if you go head first, you can paralyze yourself. Wear a flotation device when participating in water sports that require one for safety. It's always important if you're doing something like going on a jet ski or on a boat to have your flotation device and wear it, especially like if you're out tubing or wakeboarding, something along those lines. If you get stuck in the water, number one, do not panic. Most drownings occur because people panic, and when they panic, they start to hyperventilate, get over crazy, and they waste their energy. Instead, you want to know how to tread water and just slowly tread water. If you get tired, you want to use the back foot, where you just lay back in the water and kind of pull your hips up. If you happen to get caught in a rip current, you don't want to try to swim back to shore. You want to swim parallel to the shore and then start to swim at a diagonal angle. The good news is rip currents usually they don't last that long, so just swim parallel until you feel like you can start making it in and then go back. If you try to swim straight against it, you're going to tire yourself out, and that's when you run into problems and you'll get pushed out further. And then know where a lifeguard or someone who knows CPR and first aid is at all time. All right, last thing, essentials of wilderness recreation. Number one, never go into the woods alone. Even the most experienced people, if they go into the woods alone, they can have problems and not make it out. Number two, always tell people where you're going. Even if you're going with someone else, you can get off of a trail and get lost. I've watched videos about people getting lost, and it's very, very dangerous. And not only is it dangerous, but sometimes they don't make it out. Number three, watch out for poisonous plants and animals. So if you're going out into the wilderness, you should be prepared on what type of animal, what type of plants are poisonous. Know that kind of stuff in advance. The easiest one to think about is that there are some very deadly snakes in Florida, and there's a quick little rhyme to help you remember it. If you ever see red on yellow, that'll kill a fellow. Red on black, venom lacks. So that's just meaning if the red stripe and the yellow stripe touch each other, that could kill you. Stay away. If the red stripe touches the black stripe, you're safe. Now, don't go play with it, but you're still safe. Over here on the right, we have the 10 things you should always take whenever, I think there's actually 11 because I added signaling device, but always take when you go out hiking or camping. You want a first aid kit in case you get injured. Extra food and water, that's just in case something were to happen, you were to get lost. Extra clothing, once again, if there's a downpour, if you get lost, you need fresh clothes to put on. A map so that you know where you can go. You actually want a hard copy because if you take your cell phone and it dies, then you need battery. A compass, being able to know which direction you're going, even if you don't know where you're going. If you always head in the same general direction, you won't end up going in circles. A flashlight with extra batteries, just in case. Waterproof matches. Obviously, matches won't help you to produce a fire if you need heat or to cook something if they're wet and they're not waterproof. Sunglasses to protect your eyes. Pocket knife if you need to cut some things. And then obviously a signaling device. If you get lost out in the woods, having a signaling device to signal people, that might help you. There is more information on this stuff in your book. If you want to read that section, you can. We skipped over a few things because we won't encounter them much in Florida, but they would be good for you guys to see. Hope you're having a lovely day. This was it for today. If you have any questions, message me on the portal. If not, I'll see you soon. Bye.